G'day, welcome one and all to another installment of Guvs Hero Review videos. We are going to be continuing in our Rock Band series, this time taking a look at the 5-star legendary green heroine, Fiddle. There she is, the Mesmerizing Concertmaster. So Fiddle is available for summons from the Battle of the Bands portal, which rolls around once every 12 weeks, as it's on an alternating 4-week rotation with the Mercenary and Zombie event. So it goes Merc, Battle of the Bands, Zombie, Merc, Battle of the Bands, Zombie, so on and so forth. Fiddle is a part of the second batch of Rock Band heroes added to the event during in May 2023, roughly 9 months after the original release of the event in August 2022. Her artwork, I'm just going to flip over to this one and we can take a bit of a look at it. This artwork was provided by Fearless Phantom and Hit. Two people passed it on to me when I put the call out for it. I don't have Fiddle, I'd love her, but don't have it yet. So taking a look at that, there's, a bit of magic going on with the bow going. Not much else to say really. I've got some occult symbols in there, I guess. But yeah, so Mesmerizing Concertmaster, maybe a little bit of Lindsay Sterling kind of vibes going, I guess. Bit of a niche reference there. Not sure if anyone else will get that. So flipping back to a card, she is a member of the Rock Band family, which means that Fiddle will automatically gain armor at the start of each wave. The amount of armor that is gained is equal to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30% of her maximum health, if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique Rock Band family members in the battle. So it is worth noting they must be unique heroes. You can't bring 2 copies of Fiddle, so it needs to be like Fiddle and Mayhem or Fiddle and Roxy, for example. The Rock Band family will also gain a bonus when they are used during the Battle of the Bands event. Specifically, they will gain plus 4, 8, 12, 16, or 20% attack and defense for having 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 unique Rock Band family members in your team. Note that this bonus in attack and defense only applies when those heroes are used in the Battle of the Bands event. It doesn't apply at any other time in the game. It's only when they're used in the Battle of the Bands event stages. In terms of her personal stats, so Fiddle has 793 attack, 690 defense, and 1441 HP. So it is a massive skewing towards the attack stat at the expense of the defense stat. It is actually the 4th highest green attack stat in the game at the time of this recording, so make of that what you will. Her charge speed is set to 64, which is fast. This needs 9 tiles to charge or 5 ghosted tiles. It is only 1 tile off getting the speed break, so it is very easy to do. You can do it with just using the 2% class node, or you can equip the +6 Relic Hunter Bargo speed weapon. A double break is not actually possible at this stage of the game because it needs +8, so even if you combine the class node with the Relic Hunter Bargo, you just don't get there. You'd need a +7 speed weapon. So speed node, probably worth it if you have multiple heroes, green heroes that need the Relic Hunter Bargo. You can use that weapon elsewhere. Speaking of the class, Fiddle is a member of the Sharpshooter class, which grants the chance to bypass all defensive buffs, including counterattack, on the target enemy. It is a very useful talent by negating buffs which can affect the damage output from her special skills aura tiles. It is only a chance to bypass them, so I probably wouldn't bank on it to go killing enemies who've got counterattack up, as you'll still more than likely cop the return damage from it. By way of emblem path, I don't have Fiddle, so I'm going to have to demonstrate on someone else, but I would probably go the defense HP route, which may seem counterintuitive, but to me, I really want to improve her survivability in order to proc the insanity ailment of her special skill more often. Plus, her attack stat, as we discussed, is already pretty hefty, so you probably don't need to improve it too much more than what it already is. So I am going to demonstrate on Weisheng. I apologize for this. I don't have Fiddle or a green recon class hero. So for this class tree, I would, not that one, this one here. Delete that. I am going to go the defense route, so I'm going to go left and right. I'll pick up the speed node. I'd go defense, defense HP, and then come back to the defense node here. You can probably stop at +17. There's no real need to grab the attack. It will give you a little bit more attack stat, and there's definitely no need to go down to +19 and +20 because they're not really going to gain you any benefit whatsoever from that stuff. So yeah, so that would be the class tree I'd go. I should just draw that again, but you can pause the video if you'd like to examine it in more detail. Right, cool. Heading back over to Fiddle in the portal. And we can progress down to the last element before her special skill. So that is the passive effect. So it is a unique to the Battle of the Band or Rock Band family members at this stage, at the time of writing this review. It's a passive effect. So for Fiddle, her passive ability is to apply +1 ailment misfire stack to all enemies at the end of each turn. Each stack is worth +2% chance to misfire status ailments onto their allies to a maximum of 20 stacks on any given hero. So 40% ailment misfire chance in total. The stacks are separate to buffs and ailments, so the only way to reverse a negative stack that your heroes receive is with a positive version of that same effect, which, due to the exclusivity and limited options that are available at this stage, is not currently possible. So there's no hero that currently has a positive misfire ailment, I guess, in their skills and that. Continuing down her special skill, it is titled Symphony of Ruin, and at level 10 skill and 64 charge speed will deal 330% damage to the target with minor damage dealt to nearby enemies. I'll just interrupt for a second. Minor damage is 50% of the listed percentage. So in this case, it is 50% of 330%, which is 165% to the nearby enemies. Her skill will also add a flat 25% charge to the target enemy and will apply the Insanity ailment to the target for 4 turns. It will also then apply a +2 stack to the target, each stack doing 2% ailment misfire chance to a maximum of 20 stacks, or +40% ailment misfire chance. So breaking that apart a little bit, we're going to start with the direct damage, and I'm going to compare or analyze this on an attack power per tile basis. So attack power is just taking their attack stat multiplied by the percentage in their skill. Attack power per tile is then dividing it by the number of tiles required to charge their skill. So in the case of Fiddle has 793 attack, 330% defense, so that's an attack power of 2,617. Dividing that by the 9 tiles required to charge her skill, and we come out with an attack power per tile, or APPT, of 291, which is the best direct damage dealing sniper in green at this stage on their base damage. The next best one is Minamoto at 286 attack power per tile. Minamoto can bolster up to 383 if you attack a hero with armor, but Fiddle is a very, very good damage dealer, courtesy of that high percentage and also her high base attack stat. So yeah, some other options in there. You've got Mantis coming in at 277 attack power per tile, Equani at 233, Adid, the vanilla hero, 217. All the way down the bottom there, we've got Walker, who comes in at 164 attack power per tile. So very good green sniper in the form of Fiddle. Moving on from the damage, the second and third lines go together, so we're going to sort of analyze them together. So second line is the application of a flat 25% charge to the target, and the third line is the application of the Insanity ailment to the target for 4 turns. So Insanity, for the record, is just a 100% strike onto a random ally, but most importantly, it also resets their charge back to 0% as they have cast their special skill, an Insanity attack or a mindless attack. As I say all the time in these review videos, charge control is one of, if not the greatest effect that you can have on a hero. It just changes the entire scape of the battle. With Fiddle, one thing to note is that these two effects, they are processed separately because they are 2 separate line items in her skill, which means that the 25% charge is processed as a positive effect to the enemy hero, but the mindless attack is still processed as a negative or a status ailment for the enemy. So what this means is that the mindless attack side of the Insanity ailment can be withstood or resisted or blocked, but the charge will still be received by the enemy. So it is just something to note when you are selecting your target, that if you are targeting a hero of the support class, they will gain 25% charge, but possibly resist the Insanity ailment at the same time. Similarly, for someone like Doodle, if he puts up an ailment block, whoever you target is still going to get 25% charge. They're just not going to get the insanity ailment. So it's a free 25% charge. But on the whole, I do love this combination of these two effects because it does push the enemy hero closer towards having their special skill wiped, and potentially, because it's 4 turns insanity, you'll be able to charge their skill all over again and make them wipe it out a second time. So very good combination in my opinion. Final line of her skill is the application of +2 stacks to the target enemy. Each stack is dealing 2% ailment misfire chance to a maximum of 20 stacks, or plus 40% chance for that misfire. So I didn't really speak about this much earlier in the review, so I'll explain it a little more here. This stack is specifically related to misfiring ailments, which is unlike the other example of misfiring, which is on Umbra. So Umbra applies it to the entire special skill, whereas Fiddle is only applying it to ailments. So what this means is that any DOT, any ailments affecting charge, generation, healing, armor, attack, defense, anything like that, anything which is considered a status ailment can be misfired back onto her ally. So it is quite far ranging in its effects, but the chances are quite low initially, but they do build up over the course of a fight. It is a slow build as well. It's only going up by +1% per turn, and +2% per turn, and you're also only applying the skill stacks to one enemy. So it is a slow build compared to some of the other stacks. Yeah, and as I mentioned, it is also limited only to ailments, which is why I've been referring to it as an ailment misfire the whole way throughout this review, rather than a straight up misfire, which is how I refer to Umbra's effect. So overall, Fiddle is a very powerful attacking hero. She has a lot of direct damage. It is phenomenal compared to all the other green sniping options in the game. Her charge control is on point. It can potentially be negated with poor luck or poor timing, but you know, it is still a fantastic combination. Thus far, I haven't been lucky enough to get Fiddle. I will be hopefully summoning to try to get her later in this event, but I know that if I did get Fiddle, I would 100% be leveling her, and she would be a fantastic addition to just about any team with her fast charge speed and her hefty damage and the charge control that she offers. You can combine it with a defense down hero like Whack or Yumi to enhance the nearby damage, but it really isn't necessary because I see her primary effect being that mindless attack, with the damage being a bonus on top. So for Fiddle's grading, I am going to give her an A grade for War and Raid attack. That is very high for a direct damage dealer. They don't normally get that much. For War Machines, I'm going to give her an A minus. She's got a high attack stack and charge control, so very useful in War Machines. For events, I'm going to drop it down to a B just because she's mainly target. It's not targeted nearby. For War and Raid defense, I'm going to give her a B+. She's probably best functioning as a wing or a flank. Her speed and charge control allow her to function in either of those spaces. In the tournament settings, I'm going to give her an A and a B+ for attack and defense on Bloody Battle. On Buff Booster, I'm going to give her an A for attack and a B for defense. In charged attacks, she gets a slight improvement, but it's almost negligible. So I'm going to drop her down to a B+ and a B for charged attack tournaments for attack and defense. So overall, though, she comes out at an A- for her overall attack grade and a B+ for her overall defense grade. So a really, really good hero, really solid addition to your attack and even your defense teams as well. So that concludes the content that I have for this review of Fiddle. As always, this whole review, it's just my personal opinion on these heroes. I love hearing your thoughts and feedback on these heroes, so jump down into the comments section of the video, drop me a note. I love reading them. I always try to reply to as many of you as I can. If you did enjoy the content of this video and found it to be useful, like the video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, but most importantly, share the video around to your alliance mates and the people you play with, because chances are, if it was useful for yourself, it's also going to be useful to the other people you play with too. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review. I do hope I'll see you guys soon in the next video, but until then, stay safe, good luck, and happy gaming. Cheers, bye!